A grand estate stretches across the horizon. Marble fountains, immaculate lawns, a fleet of classic cars shimmering in the morning sun. It's the kind of place that makes headlines, the kind that whispers old money and new ambition. But tonight, we're not talking about millionaires. We're talking about billionaires. And the real difference between them isn't just a few extra zeros. It's something deeper, something that, for most people, remains hidden behind closed doors and private jets. For decades, the American dream has been measured in millions. $1 million was once the ultimate milestone. Millionaires were the visionaries, the risk-takers, the self-made legends. They built companies, bought sprawling homes, and sent their kids to the best schools. Their stories filled magazine covers and business books, fueling the hope that with enough grit, anyone could join their ranks. But as the 21st century unfurled, a new class emerged: billionaires. Suddenly, $1 million seemed quaint, almost ordinary. The public watched as tech founders, investors, and heirs catapulted into a stratosphere that felt almost unreal. Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, their net worths soared past the GDP of small nations. The rules of the game seemed to change overnight. People believed that becoming a billionaire was just the next level of being a millionaire. Work smarter, scale faster, and the billions would follow. It was an intoxicating idea. Self-help gurus and business coaches promised blueprints to billionaire status. Social media was flooded with advice, life hacks, and motivational quotes. If millionaires could become billionaires, then surely the difference was just about scaling up, taking bigger risks, thinking bigger thoughts. The American psyche was hooked. But beneath the surface, there was a flaw in this belief, a hidden fault line that most never saw. The difference between millionaires and billionaires isn't just magnitude. It's a difference in kind, not just degree. Millionaires tend to operate in familiar territory: real estate, retail, small business, maybe a successful tech startup. They can build wealth with hard work, strategic risk, and a bit of luck. But billionaires play a different game. Their wealth often comes from creating or controlling entire platforms, markets, or networks. It's not just about owning a piece of the pie. It's about owning the oven, the recipe, and the bakery. This divide is more than financial. It's about access to power, influence, and the systems that shape society. Billionaires don't just have more money, they have more leverage. They can bend regulations, shape public opinion, and even influence geopolitics. For many millionaires, the ceiling is invisible but impenetrable. The leap from millions to billions isn't just about working harder or smarter. It's about entering a world where capital, connections, and timing converge in rare, almost unrepeatable ways. For a while, this hidden flaw went unnoticed. The economy boomed, tech startups minted new millionaires every week, and the myth of upward mobility endured. But then, a trigger, a series of events that forced the world to reckon with the real difference. The 2008 financial crisis was a wake-up call. As markets crashed, millions lost homes, jobs, and savings. Millionaires took hits, some lost everything. But billionaires, by and large, weathered the storm. Some even emerged richer, having bought up distressed assets or leveraged their influence to secure bailouts. The pandemic years told a similar story. As small businesses shuttered and millions struggled, the world's billionaires saw their wealth soar, driven by surging stock prices and digital platforms that thrived in lockdown. The public's faith in the system began to crack. People started asking hard questions. How is it that billionaires seem insulated from the crises that devastate everyone else? Why do the rules seem different at the top? The shift in power was unmistakable. Billionaires weren't just rich. They were gatekeepers, able to shape markets, politics, even the flow of information. Millionaires, once the icons of success, now seemed like small players in a much bigger game. This collapse of the old narrative changed everything. The myth that anyone could become a billionaire if they just worked hard enough began to unravel. Researchers, economists, and journalists dug deeper, exposing the structures that make billionaire wealth possible. Monopolies, network effects, political connections, and global tax strategies. The difference was no longer just about ambition or hustle. It was about systems, scale, and access. In the end, the lesson is clear. The gap between millionaires and billionaires is more than just numbers. It's a shift from personal wealth to systemic power. Millionaires live well, billionaires shape the world. The leap isn't just about more money, it's about entering a realm where the rules are different, where influence matters as much as dollars, and where access, timing, and control are everything. The next time you hear about someone chasing their first million or their first billion, remember, the real story isn't just about how much they have. It's about the world they're able to build and the world they're able to change. For more stories that look beneath the surface of wealth and power, subscribe for the next case file.